Let's talk about that first idea, that one more day is another chance, not a guarantee. It's interesting how casually most people treat time. They talk about tomorrow as if it's sitting in the garage, ready to be used whenever they feel like starting the engine. I'll start tomorrow, I'll fix it tomorrow, I'll call them tomorrow, but tomorrow is not a possession. It's not property, it's a possibility, and possibility is fragile. One more day is not something you own. It's something you're allowed. When you wake up in the morning, you haven't earned that day, you've been granted it. And that shift in thinking changes everything, because when you see the day as a gift rather than a given, your posture changes. Your urgency changes, your decisions begin to sharpen. Some people waste years because they assume they have years. But wise people understand something powerful. Yesterday is gone completely. It cannot be edited, negotiated, or relived. You cannot repair yesterday directly. You can only respond to it wisely today. That's what one more day really means: response. Maybe yesterday you lost your temper. One more day gives you a chance to practice patience. Maybe yesterday you procrastinated. One more day gives you a chance to act. Maybe yesterday you ignored your health, your goals, your relationships. One more day gives you a chance to correct direction. Life doesn't demand perfection, it offers correction. And correction requires awareness. The tragedy isn't making mistakes. The tragedy is repeating them because we assumed there would always be more time. Time is generous, but it is not obligated. You see, successful people don't become successful because they had more years. They become successful because they used their days differently. They treated ordinary days as extraordinary opportunities. They understood that greatness is not built in decades, it is built in days. One disciplined day repeated often enough becomes a transformed life. If you were given just one more day after a failure, what would you change? Would you wake up earlier? Speak more kindly, take initiative instead of waiting. Would you finally make that decision you've been postponing? The power of one more day lies in choice. Each morning, life quietly asks a question. Now that you're here again, what will you do differently? Not dramatically different. Not wildly different, just intentionally different. A phone call made, a page read, a workout completed. A plan written down, an apology offered, a distraction removed. The small corrections made today prevent the large regrets of tomorrow. You don't need a new year to start over. You need a new decision, and decisions don't require a calendar change. They require a mindset change. Most people wait for the perfect time, but time doesn't become perfect. It becomes spent. If there's something you need to begin, begin it. If there's something you need to repair, repair it. If there's something you need to stop tolerating, stop it. Because one more day is not about how long you live. It's about how alert you are while living. Imagine if today were truly a bonus, not expected, not assumed, but granted. How would you approach your work, your family, your health, your goals? Gratitude produces urgency. And urgency produces action, and here's something important. Another chance does not mean unlimited chances. Opportunity has a rhythm. If ignored too long, it grows quiet. There are conversations that become harder the longer we wait. Dreams that grow heavier the longer we postpone them. Habits that grow stronger the longer we tolerate them. One more day is powerful precisely because it might be the day things turn around if you decide it will. The difference between drifting and directing your life is often just one intentional day, a day where you choose growth over comfort, courage over convenience, discipline over delay. You cannot control how many days you're given, but you can absolutely control how you use the one in front of you. That's maturity. Immaturity assumes abundance of time. Maturity respects the scarcity of it. When you understand that one more day is another chance, not a guarantee, You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop saying later. You start saying now. And when now becomes your habit, your life begins to change. So treat today carefully, spend it wisely, invest it intentionally, because if tomorrow comes, it will not be owed to you. It will be given to you, and what you do with this day will determine whether the next one becomes a reward or a regret. Now let's take that idea a step further. If one more day is another chance, then what is it a chance for? It is a chance to become more. You see, life responds to growth. It doesn't respond to wishes. It doesn't respond to complaints. It responds to development, and one more day is one more opportunity to improve the most important asset you will ever own, yourself. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Your results rarely exceed your mindset. Your relationships rarely exceed your character. So when you're given one more day, the real question is not, what can I get, but who can I become? Because what you attract tomorrow depends on who you are becoming today. Some people wake up and ask, what do I feel like doing? Successful people wake up and ask, what do I need to improve? That's a different conversation. Feelings are temporary, growth is intentional. One more day gives you the chance to read a few more pages, to study your craft, to practice your skill, to think more clearly, to discipline your body, to refine your communication, to strengthen your mindset. And here's the beautiful part, improvement compounds. You don't need a massive transformation in one day. You need a slight edge, a small step forward, a minor upgrade in thinking, a better question asked, a wiser decision made. One more day of learning becomes knowledge. One more day of discipline becomes strength. One more day of effort becomes momentum, and momentum changes everything. Most people underestimate what they can become because they overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They try to leap instead of build, but life is built brick by brick, day by day. When you understand that one more day is time to become more, you stop wasting it on comparison. You stop measuring yourself against someone else's chapter 20 when you're on chapter 3. You focus on progress. And progress is addictive. The more you grow, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more courageous you act. The more courageous you act, the more opportunities appear. Growth attracts opportunity. If you want better circumstances, become a better person. If you want improved results, improve your habits. If you want more respect, increase your value. One more day is a workshop. It's a classroom, it's a training ground, and here's something powerful. No one can stop you from becoming more except you. They can't block your reading. They can't prevent your thinking. They can't stop you from practicing discipline. Personal growth is one of the few areas in life where you hold full control. But control requires responsibility. You cannot wish yourself into a better future. You must work yourself into one. Now, that doesn't mean you must exhaust yourself. Growth isn't about burning out. It's about building up. It's about intentional investment. If you invested just one focused hour per day into your health, your mindset, your craft, where would you be in a year? 1 hour doesn't sound dramatic, but repeated 365 times, it becomes transformation. Small daily disciplines create large future advantages. And here's the secret most people miss. Growth changes how you see the world. When you become more knowledgeable, problems look smaller. When you become more disciplined, obstacles look manageable. When you become more confident, risks look like opportunities. The world doesn't necessarily change, you do, and when you change, everything appears differently. That's why one more day is so valuable. It's not just another rotation of the earth, it's another chance to refine your identity. Your habits shape your character shapes your future, and character is built daily. You don't become strong in a crisis. You reveal the strength you built before the crisis. You don't suddenly become confident under pressure. You demonstrate the confidence you developed quietly over time. So if you are given one more day, use it to strengthen what cannot be taken from you: your mind, your discipline, your skill, your integrity. Because circumstances can shift, markets can change, people can disappoint, but the person you've built, that travels with you. And the person you build determines the life you live. So don't waste your bonus day chasing comfort. Use it constructing capacity. Don't spend it proving something to others. Spend it improving something within yourself. You don't need to become extraordinary overnight. You need to become slightly better today. And if you repeat that often enough, you won't recognize yourself a few years from now. One more day is not about adding time to your life. It's about adding life to your time. Now let me bring this closer to the heart. If one more day is another chance, and one more day is time to become more, then surely one more day is also an opportunity to love better. Because at the end of it all, people will not measure your life by your bank account, your titles, or your schedule. They will measure it by how you made them feel, and more importantly, you will measure it that way. It's fascinating. We spend so much of our time trying to build a living, and so little of it building relationships. Yet when life shakes us, and it does, we don't reach for our resumes, we reach for people. One more day means one more conversation. One more chance to say, I appreciate you. One more chance to say, I was wrong. One more chance to say, I'm proud of you. One more chance to say, I love you. And sometimes that one more sentence changes everything. You see, relationships don't deteriorate overnight. They fade from neglect, not hatred, neglect, not dramatic betrayal, quiet indifference. We assume there will always be time to fix it later. Time to visit later, time to apologize later, time to reconnect later, but later is a dangerous word. If you were given one more day with someone important to you, would you scroll through your phone while they spoke? Would you rush through dinner? Would you postpone that conversation again? Or would you listen more closely? Presence is one of the rarest gifts you can give, and it costs nothing except attention. One more day is an opportunity to be present. To look someone in the eyes when they're speaking, to put the device down, to ask a deeper question, to truly hear the answer, because people don't crave perfection from you, they crave presence. And here's something worth remembering: success is sweeter when shared. Achievements feel lighter when celebrated together. Even struggles become manageable when carried collectively. Relationships are not distractions from success. They are part of success, but strong relationships require intentional effort. Just like growth requires discipline, connection requires care. It requires patience when you're tired, kindness when you're irritated, forgiveness when you're hurt, encouragement when it's inconvenient. One more day gives you another opportunity to practice those qualities. Maybe you've allowed pride to build a wall between you and someone you care about. One more day gives you a chance to take a brick down. Maybe you've been so focused on ambition that you've unintentionally neglected affection. One more day gives you a chance to rebalance. Maybe someone in your life is quietly struggling, and they don't need your solutions, they need your support. One more day gives you a chance to show up. And let me tell you something powerful: time does not heal all wounds. Conversation does, understanding does, humility does. Time simply creates distance if we don't act within it. If you truly understood the value of one more day, you would treat people differently. You would speak more carefully. You would criticize less and encourage more. You would express gratitude more often, because one day there will not be one more day. That's not meant to create fear. It's meant to create focus. Life is fragile, and relationships are even more fragile. They must be nurtured. They must be watered. They must be protected from the weeds of ego and busyness. You can build a successful career and still feel empty if your relationships are broken. But when your relationships are strong, even modest achievements feel rich. We often chase significance in the public eye while neglecting significance at the dinner table, but your true legacy will live in the stories people tell about how you treated them. Not how busy you were, not how stressed you were, not how important you were, but how kind you were, how dependable you were, how loving you were. One more day is a gift, not just to improve your skills, but to improve your connections. Send the message, make the call, write the note, offer the forgiveness, express the gratitude. Don't wait for a tragedy to remind you of someone's value. Recognize it now, because success without meaningful relationships is hollow, but meaningful relationships make even ordinary days extraordinary. So if tomorrow arrives and you are granted one more sunrise, use it wisely, strengthen the bonds that matter. Say what needs to be said, and never assume there will always be another chance to do it. Now let's talk about something that determines whether all of this becomes real or remains inspirational talk. One more day is a test of discipline. It's easy to feel moved in a moment like this. It's easy to say, yes, I'll value my days more. Yes, I'll grow. Yes, I'll strengthen my relationships. But when the alarm rings tomorrow morning, that's when philosophy meets reality. And reality asks one simple question. Are you disciplined? Motivation is wonderful. It can spark you. It can excite you. It can give you a burst of energy. But motivation is like a visitor. It doesn't always stay long. Discipline, on the other hand, is a resident. It lives with you. It shows up whether you feel like it or not. One more day becomes powerful only if you use it well, and using it well often means doing what is necessary instead of what is comfortable. It means getting up when you would rather sleep. It means working on your goals when distractions are calling. It means keeping your word when excuses would be easier. It means choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. You can intend to grow, but without discipline you won't. You can intend to repair relationships, but without discipline you won't initiate the conversation. You can intend to change your life, but without disciplined action, nothing shifts. One more day is not measured by how inspired you felt. It's measured by what you executed, and here's what makes discipline so powerful. It compounds quietly. One disciplined day feels small. One disciplined week feels manageable. One disciplined month begins to feel significant. One disciplined year changes your trajectory, but it all starts with the decision to honor today. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they lack consistency. They start strong and fade quickly. They act when it's convenient and retreat when it's uncomfortable. But life rewards consistency. It rewards the person who shows up again and again and again. One more workout, one more sales call, one more hour of study, one more honest conversation, one more page written. These are not dramatic acts. They are disciplined acts, and disciplined acts, repeated daily, become remarkable outcomes over time. Now, discipline is not punishment, it's training. It's preparing yourself to handle greater opportunities. It's building capacity so that when success knocks, you are ready. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your system is built on moods, you'll be inconsistent. If your system is built on commitment, you'll be unstoppable. One more day tests your system. When nobody is watching, do you still act? When progress feels slow, do you still continue? When results are delayed, do you still believe? That is discipline. And let me tell you something important. Discipline creates freedom. At first glance, it seems restrictive. It says no to certain pleasures. It demands structure. It requires effort. But over time, discipline opens doors. Financial discipline creates financial freedom. Health discipline creates physical freedom. Time discipline creates flexibility. Emotional discipline creates peace. The undisciplined life feels easy at first and difficult later. The disciplined life feels difficult at first and easy later. One more day is the daily exam. It asks, will you trade what you want most for what you want now? If you answer wisely enough times, your life changes. You don't need to conquer the year, you need to conquer the day. And even that might sound overwhelming, so conquer the hour, conquer the next decision, because life is shaped not in giant leaps but in daily decisions. When you choose to honor your commitments today, you strengthen your identity, and identity drives behavior. When you begin to see yourself as disciplined, you act accordingly. When you keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows. And confidence built through discipline is different from confidence built through praise. Praise can disappear. Discipline stays if you are given one more day. Don't ask, how can I feel good today? Ask, how can I make progress today? Feelings will follow progress. And here is the quiet truth. Extraordinary lives are simply the result of ordinary days handled extraordinarily well. No spotlight, no applause, just consistent action. So when tomorrow arrives, and I hope it does, treat it as your proving ground. Not for the world, for yourself, because in the end, your life will not be defined by what you intended to do. It will be defined by what you disciplined yourself to do. And one more disciplined day can change everything.